everyone, my name is Confident and it's great to have you here. In this video, I'd like to show you how to handle errors when an action fails. Taking a look at the simple application we have on the page, we have a table widget showing all pipelines coming from the GitLab pipeline API, and clicking on the refresh button actually calls that API and the data gets displayed on the table. Taking a look at the API we're calling, it's a simple API that returns some JSON data of the pipeline information. And like we said earlier, clicking on this button calls the API and then that data gets displayed on the table. Now, what happens if the API call is not successful? How do you handle such events? So to do that, we can head over to the button widget and write some logic that happens whenever this call is not successful. So for the onClick action, which actually goes to run the API call, we can specify an action to occur when an error occurs or when it is successful. So when it's successful, let's just display a message to let the user know it is successful and select show message. So for the message, I'm going to say it worked. And we can set the message type to success, and that would show up whenever the call is successful. But when there's an error, we can also go ahead to specify an action to be performed to handle that error. So for the error case, I'm just similarly going to show a message for this example. So for the message, let's say something like, we had an error. And we can set this to a warning type. And we can go back to check how this works. So clicking on the button to call that API, you can see that we have the it worked action showing up. And when we have an error, say for example, we go to call an endpoint that does not exist, say an endpoint like this. Clicking on this, we should see the error we had configured. We have the message saying that we had an error. And we can really go in to expand this capability. So say for example, you want to do a couple of things whenever an action fails. You can actually go into the JavaScript mode by clicking on the JS button to write some more JavaScript that would be executed whenever that action is successful or whenever it fails. So say for example, we have the failure case, which is this block we have right here. And just to point it out, we also have the success case, which is this block we have right here. So to perform more actions whenever the get pipeline API fails, what I need to do is to return a new function that would have all the logic I want executed whenever the action fails. So I'm just going to cut this out and then return a new function. And inside of this function, I can do multiple things. So right here, I am showing an alert. So let's do that one more time. I want to show another alert and change the message up a bit. So let's say something like we had an error and set this to error. And here, whenever the get pipeline action fails, we are doing a couple of things here to handle the error event. So let's go back to test this out. I'm going to click on the refresh button. And you can see that we have the two messages we specified showing up right here whenever there's an error. So this is how you can easily handle errors whenever an action fails and also do a couple of other things when they are successful. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like, get subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.